Hello, this is Dr. Paul Hannig here once again. Do we have a goodie for you today? What do you do when the world is driving you crazy? Let me slow that down a little bit for you. You are a human being just like I am. And there comes along a time, a situation, a group of situations where you're feeling somewhat overloaded. It happens to all of us. Too much information. Perhaps you got rats in your belfry. Rats in your basement. Your bills aren't being paid. Your spouse or your partner's driving you crazy. Your relatives are doing this, that, and the other. This bill can't be paid. Or this thing breaks down. Well, ever feel like just getting away? Wishing you could just escape? What do you do? What do you do when the world is driving you crazy? You're watching television and all you hear, all you see is a lot of negativity. It's craziness. There's a lot of crazy making. What do you do? One word. Listen carefully. Listen very carefully. Detach. Now for some people that doesn't sound too nice. It may have different kinds of connotations. But let me be very, very clear with this. Let me be blunt. You have to get away. You might be driving yourself crazy with all the things that you have to attend to. Everybody has something that they do, a technique, a tactic, a strategy, a method, a tool for disconnecting from what they call the tsuras, the troubles of the world. Detach. Let me get that word into your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. Let it just drift around a little bit. All right, a whole lot. Detach. You take a cup of coffee. All of a sudden, your chemistry has changed. You feel a little better. You're lifted up. Actually, coffee creates a distraction in your nervous system. It takes you to another place. Do I recommend it? Well, some doctors do. Some doctors don't. The choice is up to you. How you detach depends on your own creativity. But first you must become aware of the need to detach. All right, so you're meditating. You're getting in touch with cosmic consciousness. You're praying to God. And still, a bit of sadness comes up. You're starting to worry about maybe your spouse, your kids, your relatives, your mother, your father, your uncles, your cousins, the people at work, your profession, your job, your work, this, that, and the other. Your mind is going, I'm not going to say a mile a minute, but it is going. You do self-hypnosis. Maybe you take a drink of wine. Or you watch a television show. Distraction. Detachment. You need to detach. First, you must become conscious of the need to detach. And the moment you become conscious of your need to detach, you actually start to detach. You begin to remove yourself away from all of those situations that cause noise in your life. Does this make any sense to you? Let's go over it again and again. It's a human need. You need to escape. You need to get away. Maybe you'll watch a movie on television, and that will detach you for a moment from everyday concerns, everyday worries. Detach. Get it firmly imprinted in your conscious mind and start to take action. Do something. But first, you must deal with what you are feeling and what you are thinking. Because what you are thinking about the situations that present themselves to you every single day of your life, what you do with those situations will cause an emotional state, a frame of mind, a psychological state, a feeling state. Are you feeling agitated, bugged, distressed? You need to detach. I'm not saying you have to do this all the time, but allow your unconscious mind to reveal to you through the power of insight that there are times in your existence when you need to remove yourself emotionally and psychologically away from all the problems of daily living. All right, your bills are not being paid, or this bill has to be paid, this phone call has to be answered, this computer program needs to be fixed, this thing in your house needs to be fixed, your apartment rent is overdue, your relationship is having all kinds of problems. Detach. Because once you get overwhelmed and deeply involved in the tension-producing situations in your life, it begins to take a toll on your emotional and physical state. Everything boils down to a feeling state. How do you want to feel? How are you feeling in the moment, in the here and now, in the present? Are you totally and completely present in your life for yourself and everyone else? You can't be fully there with someone else and for someone else if you're not fully there with yourself. If you are disconnected from a core, deep concept, a theme, an archetype, a feeling, a piece of pain, a memory, if you're completely repressed in those areas, you need to focus on those areas, and it will help detach you from whatever is going on in your life right now. It'll raise you to a higher level of consciousness. It'll take you to a different place. But you need to ritualize this. Create a ritual where you actually remove yourself from yourself. And also your physical surroundings. You need to remove yourself from yourself and from your physical boundaries, the arena in which you function in. And that goes for work, it goes for play, it goes for every situation. Did you ever notice a baseball player going into a slump? The baseball player starts to think about it, starts to worry. You know what the coach does? Take a day off. Relax. Recover, recuperate. Get into an emotional state, a frame of mind, a deeper feeling where you're able to recover. They say that time heals all wounds. Well, you need to give yourself time to detach. Time is a gift. When you ritualize time in a way that gives you some kind of benefit emotionally and spiritually, you are in a process of healing. So let's go through this again. Every human being, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your station in life is. You can be the richest, wealthiest, most famous human being on the face of the earth. You need to remove yourself. 2 examples. The Buddha was married. As far as I know, he was married. He decided to walk away, to detach himself. He took himself to a tree and he sat under the tree. He removed himself. I don't know what was going on in his married life, in his family life. He chose to detach himself and spend time under a tree. And supposedly an apple hit him in the head. Bang, something happened, and his whole world, his whole universe changed. Another situation. Jesus goes to the River Jordan. There's his cousin dunking people and saving them, going through the ritual bath. It's called a mikveh. John the Baptist is doing this for all of his followers. He dips them in water, they say a prayer, and they become detached from their troubles. Jesus does this. John the Baptist says, you should be doing this to me. Jesus says, nah, go ahead, keep doing it yourself. Do it to me, do it like you're supposed to, and it works. They do a ritual, a bird flies up into the air. You know what happens? Jesus goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. He takes himself away from civilization, from his ordinary life. He goes into the wilderness and he meditates and goes through incredible spiritual experiences that transforms him from the inside out, and he discovers that he's really something special. I won't go into the details. You get the point. There isn't a person alive, and I've given you 2 examples, that does not need that detachment. That time that you take yourself away from your everyday activities. It's a ritual. It's about caring for yourself. I'm not going to use the words letting go, because you've probably heard that over and over again. This is not about letting go. This is about the true experience, the physiological and emotional experience of detachment. And I do not mean that in a destructive way. I mean it in a self-healing way, because everything has its paradox, its opposite. So, take the time, ritualize when you feel you're being overworked, when you feel you're being overstressed, when you feel you're being bugged and you're not in your normal state and you need to get away, detach. Call it a mini vacation. Even if you want to go on a trip. I know elderly couples, well, I'm not sure how old they are, but they take trips to Europe. They go to Spain. They go to South America. They go to Mexico. They take long trips away from their home. And it seems to rejuvenate and refresh themselves. Time away from your usual routine. Detaching yourself emotionally from the very things that sort of stress you out. No one, including myself, is free from stress, but you can do something about it. It requires action. It requires a plan. So when you are feeling that moment, listen very carefully to your unconscious mind. Tap into that primordial universe that exists deep within your body, your brain, and your very essence and being. Tap into it, and it will tell you the truth. It will reveal itself to you. The universe is just waiting to send you information, to preserve you, to help you function better, to help you feel better, and to raise your spirit. And you will need to detach yourself. Now, I hope I got that message across. Think about it. Now, you could enter into a whole phase of judgment about what I've said. That's okay. You can project that upon me. Here's one of my secrets. Whatever you project upon me that exists inside of you makes me a better person eventually. When there are things inside of yourself that you treasure, that you love, that you really like about yourself, other people will try to take that away from you through the power of projection and judgment. You've heard the old saying, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." It's in the New Testament. I'm part of a group that is hated by other groups. And I ask myself this question, why would they want to hate me? I'm not a hateful person. Why do they hate me? It's because they are projecting something inside of themselves that wants to cause me and you harm because of the way I believe, the way I think, and who I am. There is a dark side to human nature, and we all have that dark side. And the more you communicate and acknowledge your dark side, the more you have control over it. You'll be able to do something about it when it becomes necessary to deal with it. Let me review real quickly. I know this has been long. Detach. Take the moment, the time, to to almost, if you can, instantaneously shift your consciousness. Change your thinking, you change your life and your feeling states. Physiological intervention creates an emotional change. Do something physical. Remove yourself emotionally, physically, intellectually from a situation to give yourself time to heal, shift, and change. Your goal and your purpose is to feel good. Everything comes down to a feeling state. Everything you do in life, the end result is what you are going to feel about it. It's not the outside manifestation that matters as much as how you are going to feel about it. Set your goals. You may have someone in your life. You wish to influence their life. You wish to affect their life. You see that they need to move on to a different level, a different state. How are you going to influence them with all that is positive inside of you? How are you going to be influenced by something that is positive inside someone else? It's a matter of give and take. Who do you want to influence? Sigmund Freud once said, there are two things to worry about, concern yourself about in the world: work and play. No, did I say work and play? Love. No, love and work. Work and play, that's not a bad idea. Love and work. If your love life isn't synced up, if it isn't in full connection and very rewarding, you have unfinished business. Maybe you've made mistakes that need to be corrected. Shift, detach. Maybe your work life is problematic. How are you feeling about your work life? Is there something not quite right in your work life? Detach yourself and get in touch with a source that will help you shift and change and rejuvenate yourself from the inside out and change your life for the better. Love and work. Maybe your love life and your work life is absolutely sensational, but you know of someone maybe even close to you, who is having trouble in one or both of those areas. Shift your thinking. Focus on that individual. What do they need? What are they lacking? What is it that you wish for them? What is it that you hope for them? Are you able to influence the universe to create something wonderful in their lives that will change their lives? I don't care how challenging it is. You have the power and the influence, not only in the real physical world, but in the metaphysical world, the world of consciousness. You can influence people that you care about and that you love. You can even influence those you don't care about and you don't love. Detach. Have a fantastic, have an incredible, have a marvelous, wonderful, stimulating, and extremely interesting day.